Welcome, everyone. Hi, welcome to Bitwarden Vault Hours. My camera seems to be black. Can folks see me here? Gary, can you see me on
Not at
screen?
the moment, but that we can hear you perfectly.
Oh, okay, that's weird. Okay, well, anyway, my name is Vivian Schick, and I'm here with my co-host Gary Orenstein, who you see on camera. I seem to be a black dot there. Do you want to say hi to everyone, Gary?
Uh, Good morning, good evening. Thanks for coming to Vault Hours, and yeah, nice to have you here.
Great, thank you. So you'll get to meet a few other members of the Bitwarden team in just a few moments, but we're going to get started on our agenda today. Here's what's up for the next hour or so. I'm going to be sharing a little bit about the new native mobile apps that was just released actually in beta last week. The Bitwarden Authenticator, which is a new standalone app that generates time-based one-time passcodes for 2FA authentication. We just came out with some new functionalities, import and export functions there. And so Gary's going to walk us through how that works. Uh, Not everyone may know or remember the Bitwarden email alias function, so my colleague Chloe will be showing you how to set that up. And then finally, Katherine, who is on our software engineering team, she will share a little of her experience on how a password manager helps her and her partner stay organized as they are busy parents, busy working parents juggling 3 kids. And so, as always, our Vault Hour time is intended to be super collaborative. So, we welcome folks to join on screen. If you have a comment or question, please just note any initial questions, anything through the chat. And Gary and I and other members of the team, we're going to be keeping an eye out on any comments or questions you may have. And also, if you feel like sharing something, your experience with Bitwarden or any of the topics really resonate with you, please also let us know if you want to join us on stage, and we're happy to have you. So let's see okay, no initial questions right now. Great. So I'm going to jump into the native mobile apps that we just released in beta. Just a little bit of background here. Over the past few months, Bitwarden has been making a number of technological advances to overall facilitate better user experience and app performance. And some of these changes may not be visible to in your average user day-to-day usage of Bitwarden, but these are really intended to improve the overall experience. And so, for example, last month, Bitwarden announced the transition from Manifest v2 to v3 for the Chrome browser extension. And this month, we released the public beta for native mobile apps. And so, for those of you who have been with Bitwarden since the early days, you may know that our founder, Kyle Spearin, he first built the mobile app with a technology called Xamarin, which is a Microsoft framework, and it allows you to create a single app that works on both the iOS and Android. And Kyle shared some of this background in a Reddit post, and he explains that part of why he chose Xamarin at the time was because it was this technology that he was familiar with, and it gave him time to maintain both a mobile app while building other Bitwarden apps. And so as Bitwarden grew and evolved, and as the engineering team matured, it became clear that it was time to transition away from Xamarin and move Bitwarden mobile to fully native apps. And so through this transition, the idea is to facilitate just improved app performance, snappier UI, more responsive, intuitive interface and experience. And then even though Bitwarden is already highly secure with end-to-end encryption, zero-knowledge encryption, moving to the native apps does provide just a general security boost in privacy because they can access platform-specific integrated features. So this is a phased beta. And we are currently in the first phase here, which was launched last week. Be on the lookout in the coming weeks for the iOS and Android passkey. We'll be hitting GA in a number of weeks, and also finally you will see a more comprehensive mobile UI refresh. So the product and engineering team, we always welcome feedback and have provided a number of ways to contribute and submit that feedback. So noted a few places where you can take a look at the feedback that's already been given, and again, very easy to test it out if you have the test flight app, and then all various locations and community forums for collaboration and input. Great. Okay, so I'm going to hand it over now to Gary, who is going to talk about the new import and export functions for the Bitwarden Authenticator.
Thanks, Vivian. I'm still going to call out to you to forward the slides,
Sure.
but for me, the buttons on the bottom right in Crowdcast for adjusting the camera and settings seem to have worked so far. But we want to talk for a minute about the Bitwarden Authenticator, which for those of you who are not familiar is a new standalone app that Bitwarden introduced recently. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to two-factor authentication, both within and outside of Bitwarden. And this is the foray into doing an authentication app that's outside of the core Bitwarden account. So feel free to forward a slide, Vivian. So yeah, as I mentioned, new standalone application can be used separately from other Bitwarden products. If you're familiar with Google Authenticator or Authy, which is now owned by Twilio, it's in the spirit of those applications. So feel free to take a look if you have not already. So the initial part of the Authenticator launch that happened a month or two ago, we had not quite finished the import function. So that's a big one if you're moving from other authenticators. And I'm going to try to see, Vivian, for a second, if I can share my iPhone just to walk through the app, and we'll see how that works. If it doesn't work, we'll come back to the presentation. All right, great. So unfortunately, I don't use the iPhone all the time, so this is just a fresh authentication of Authenticator. But you'll see it here, and at this point, we could add codes if we were adding new codes, and it would scan the for the code, and then the thing that is new today is the ability to do the import. So there are a bunch of different options for the import format that you can see. The ones that you see listed predominantly will import a file, but the Google Authenticator does this via a QR code. So you see if I do the Google one, it'll launch the camera, because that's the method that Google uses. So that's one option. And then, of course, the other thing is there's export options that are available, and there are backup options as well. So there you go. The recommendation is, use the phone backup that's available both in iOS and Android. So I'm going to stop sharing that and ask you to go back to the presentation, if that's okay, Vivian. And that seemed to work out okay. I'll have to do more device demos in the future because that worked out so smoothly. I have to learn iOS a little bit better. So anyway, these are the import options. We can move to the next slide. And, just some, oh, yeah. So for the importing options here. Next one, Vivian. And so walk through the import process. You can navigate to the file, or if you're using the Google option, you can use the QR code. So of course, for two-factor success, you absolutely want to make sure that you have a backup. So backup 2FA, have a phrase, friends don't let friends 2FA one way. So first and foremost, you can back up your Bitwarden Authenticator TOTP seeds, the original codes that you used to set that up. You can take an export and put that in protected storage, or you can use iOS or Android phone backup, which will back up the application and the data of the application. And then, of course, if you're not familiar, Bitwarden Password Manager supports many different 2FA options, including email and any authenticator app, including the Bitwarden Authenticator. A new addition, for those of you who aren't familiar, is that with the advent of passkeys, Bitwarden added passkey and FIDO2 and WebAuthn enabled security keys as an option for two-factor authentication in the basic free account. This, as far as I know, is the strongest security options available for a free account for users. So pretty cool. That was something that the community had long asked for, and fantastic that the industry standards of passkeys, FIDO2, WebAuthn, and people using that in industry standard security keys is now taking hold. Of course, Duo and YubiKey are still options that are available in the premium. So whatever path you choose for your authentication, and whether you do it outside of Bitwarden or inside of Bitwarden, make sure that you have a backup. That's the important thing. And that might be the end of the authenticator section, Vivian.
Great. Thanks, Gary. Yeah, and I should let folks know that when we announced the Bitwarden Authenticator, we also included a roadmap. And so the local authenticator codes, that's phase one. There is a comprehensive roadmap planned with additional functionalities that include slightly longer term focus for business offerings and for workforce authentication. So all right. I think it is Chloe. You are up next to talk about using email aliases.
Yeah, hi everyone. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you just great.
Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna do a tutorial on how to use this feature within Bitwarden. Next slide, please. As you can see, this is a feature that some people, even after using Bitwarden for a while, don't know about. So we want to do a quick overview and just make sure that you all know how to take advantage of this. Email aliases are great because when you are signing up to receive emails, either through an online service or a subscription, you typically use your personal email address, which means that the address could be sold by the original company and land you on numerous mailing lists or even worse. And so the benefit of using email aliases is that if the company you're signing up for to receive emails from falls victim to a data breach or something like that, your real email and your identity won't be compromised. And so this feature is available via through Bitwarden on our desktop app, web app, browser extension, and mobile app. And these are the email alias services that Bitwarden supports, including DuckDuckGo, Fastmail, and more. And so how to set this up, you'll go through the browser extension. You would first start by creating a new vault entry. And then in the new entry setup window, you click the username generator icon. You can see this flow on the left. And in that resulting window, you click to expand the options section. And from there, under options, you'll see the forwarded email alias entry listed. And then you check the option and you check that option, and then select the service you wish to use, such as Fastmail here from the service dropdown. And then finally, you will save the username, and the username will now be populated with the forwarded email alias, and fill in the rest of your details in the vault entry, and again, save your work. And voila, now you will no longer have to put your personal email identity at risk when signing up for online subscriptions or services. That's it for me.
Great. Thank you, Chloe. I use the email alias for when I sign up for different services, and it's interesting to see for me which companies, which vendors share my email or share my information with others, because then if I see an email promotion coming from a vendor that I know I didn't sign up for, but it's using that email alias, I think, oh, okay, I think I know which vendor sold my information or shared it with other companies. So something that's helpful for me to keep track of.
Vivian,
Okay, yes.
can we go back one? Just one other thing on the alias front, for those of you who aren't familiar, if many email services, for for example, Gmail supports this, something called plus addressing, where you can have your name. So say my name was at gmail.com. I can have name plus a random string at gmail.com. And so this is another way that people apply security to emails, even without having to do a full alias, which will get you even more anonymity. But the reason I mentioned plus addressing is some people like using that for their Bitwarden account because it just provides a little bit of extra security that, somebody might guess your email, but they're never going to get your plus addressed email with a random string on it. So just wanted to share that sort of an extra security tip. If you do decide ever to change your email on your Bitwarden account, make sure to take an export and a backup first, because changing your email on your Bitwarden account is an encrypted operation, and you want to make sure that you're protected through that process. So just a couple of extra tidbits along email aliases and plus email addressing.
Thanks, Gary. All right, so now we have Katherine Burlson, who, as I mentioned, is one of our software engineers, and she recently wrote a great blog post around how she, as a parent of three, juggles her kids and all of the myriad of activities and information that is required. So, Katherine, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Thank you, Vivian. Yeah, I'm Katherine Burlson. As mentioned, I'm one of the engineers here at Bitwarden. Specifically, I work on the mobile apps on the iOS side. So both the native beta that we were talking about and the Authenticator app are things that I work on. But in addition to the things that I do for Bitwarden, I am a mom to three lovely, if sometimes complicated to work for, kids. And if you are a parent, you understand just how much stuff there is for you to know with your kids. That with doctor appointments, you need social security numbers or passport numbers, or their logins to bank accounts and things like that, or even things as simple as what their locker combinations are. You, as the mom or the dad, end up being the one who is responsible for remembering these pieces of information for your kids. And it's a lot, kids, and it's a lot on top of everything else you have. Thankfully, Bitwarden can really help you be stronger in this arena. Next slide, please. So there are a couple ways that I've been using Bitwarden with my partner in order to facilitate being a parent to these children. The first is that using the identity items, because there are several different kinds of items that you can have in a vault, and the different items can give you different things. And the identity item, we have one for each child and then one for me and my partner. And in that item, we can keep track of super important information like their social security number, their passport number, and we also include as attachments scans of important documents like their birth certificates or those passports or their social security cards or things like that. That way, whenever I'm at a doctor's appointment or at the school filling out yet another piece of paperwork, I have that information at my fingertips so that I can access those things when I need them. On top of that, we use secure notes for tracking bank account information, for routing numbers and account numbers, because there are always times when you end up needing those when on the go. Card items, obviously, for credit cards and debit cards and all of those things, and the login items that people are probably most familiar with for tracking all of the logins that we need as a family, from streaming services to bank accounts and so on. The key thing with that, however, is using collections. That having a family account allows you to create collections that make it really easy to share these with different people, and we can keep things organized and control who has access to what things. My partner and I have a collection that is specifically for the things that are just us, our shared bank accounts, for instance, or our shared credit cards, which are kept separate from our individual bank accounts, our individual credit cards, our individual logins to places like Amazon or Reddit or what have you. On top of that, each of our children has two separate collections, one that we share with that child and one that are things related to that child for me and my partner. So that's going to be things like their social security number and passport, as noted, with their identity, but also logins to their bank accounts, because our children aren't old enough yet to have access to their bank account information, but they are old enough to have access to things like the streaming services, so they can stop bugging me how to get on Netflix on the TV or something like that. This allows us to control the access that each child has at the right time, and everything is in one place, in one app, for me and my partner to have important information on the go, to log in on our computers, or to share that Netflix or Wi-Fi password with our kids, so that we can do things like, once you do the chores, you'll have access to Netflix on your tablet, and that sort of thing. The ultimate underlying bedrock of this, though, is that password security has become a life skill in our society, much like making small talk or cooking or cleaning or any of a dozen other things. Keeping yourself secure with your passwords and your private data is an important part of life. And so, an important part of being a parent to me is teaching my children that same life skill and empowering them to learn how to use passwords appropriately and securely, and over time to teach them how to generate secure passwords using our generator feature, and bring them into the skill set of keeping themselves secure and keeping the family information safe. This is just another part of parenting, just like, as I said, teaching our children how to cook or how to clean or a dozen other things. Teaching them how to stay secure and safe with their passwords is another part of that. And Bitwarden makes that so much easier. That's to you, I think.
Awesome. Thanks, Catherine. I love that. Just another part of parenting, and an important life skill. Although I wish my kids would be a little better at cleaning and forget cooking. So,
Maybe we
um,
try. We try to teach these skills.
yeah.
Whether or not it sticks is a very different question.
Exactly. But thank you so much. This was such an inspiring piece. Curious if there's any other parents out there on this event who would love to. We'd love to hear your experiences. If you've tried to teach your kids password security skills, please uh, give us a shout out, and happy to bring you on stage as well. My partner, my husband, and I are currently using Bitwarden to help with some estate planning for our moms, and so that's kind of a different end of the spectrum in terms of life stages, but maybe another a potential future topic for Vault Hours. All right, what is up next? Okay, newsfeed. So Gary, I think you are going to take this section.
Yep. Exciting news from the newsfeed desk. So we can forward one. We got a nice mention in XDA on free alternatives to popular software. So nice Bitwarden to be included. These lists are always fun. They always include applications that people are excited to also learn about. And they also include applications that people love to shall I say, maybe fight about. So a lot of heated discussion, but we can move on to the next one. This is a Q&A with our founder, Kyle Spearens. So and by the way, all of these articles should be listed at bitwarden.com/newsfeed if you're interested in reading more, but also if you're interested in reading more from Kyle and the origins of Bitwarden, the It's Foss team has a nice Q&A with him. Next slide, Vivian. And then Tech Times did a roundup. So Bitwarden was rated #1. And again, a little bit more history for those who haven't heard it about, Bitwarden starting early on with a focus on transparency, security, and user-friendly design. Next slide, Vivian. PC Mag had a shootout and 1Password with Bitwarden, and we were really thrilled to get the editor's choice and a 5 stars over 4 stars. And just really nice to have that validation. All of these things, of course, are with a sincere amount of gratitude to the Bitwarden community for helping make Bitwarden what it is today. Some of you may not know, Matt Bishop joined us as an architect on the engineering team, and was on a podcast recently for Software Engineering Daily. So if you want to hear more from Matt, he's got a lot to offer a really great experience in architecting large-scale applications. Next one, Vivian. Yeah, I think that's it on my side from the news desk.
Thanks, Gary. So I'm taking blog updates, blog and articles. So before I head into the next couple blogs, just a little bit of setup. In addition to Password Manager, Bitwarden also offers a developer solution called Bitwarden Secrets Manager, which helps developers and DevOps teams, securely store and manage different machine and infrastructure secrets that like SSH keys, database passwords, API keys, and all of the above. So the next couple of articles are related to developers. So if there's any developers out there, take a look. Just this past week, Bitwarden rolled out a new Kubernetes integration for developers and DevOps teams that manage Kubernetes secrets. And this integration enables a smooth transition between Secrets Manager and Kubernetes workflows. So this is, you would deploy this with the Helm package. And again, it would just enable a secure and automated secrets synchronization between Kubernetes and Bitwarden Secrets Manager. HashiCorp Vault. So another one of for the developers out there, if any of you are using HashiCorp Vault, exploring HashiCorp, and are exploring something maybe a little bit simpler to use, more efficient, more price efficient, try out Bitwarden Secrets Manager. And this article lays out a little bit of a comparison and differences between the two solutions. So this blog summarizes the email alias feature that Chloe just showed us. And then, so hopefully all of you have turned on 2FA for your Bitwarden account, but sometimes life happens. And if for some reason you've lost your 2FA because you've misplaced or lost your security key, USB key, or another device, this recovery key is what you'll need to access your account, your Bitwarden account. And so this article walks you through those steps. Machado is a Bitwarden partner. They are a veteran-owned IT consulting firm, and they were recently selected to be Bitwarden Partner of the Quarter. They participated in a case study with us where they shared how before Bitwarden, they observed many of their customers were sharing critical credentials in Excel documents. And so they saw a need to provide truly enterprise-grade password management to their customers and have seen these clients embrace overall better security habits since using Bitwarden. And so I think this takes us to our help section, and I need to pull in our community and learning center hosts. So I see Sai, I've brought you on. Shelby, are you here, Shelby? Let me see. I don't see Shelby. Maybe I think she was having some technical difficulties. So Sai, I just invited you on stage and I'm gonna take Chloe out. All right, sorry here. I'm trying to, I don't want to ban users. All right. Well, I think we can all fit. So did I somehow lose the screen?
I was going to say, I don't see the screen sharing anymore.
Yeah, I wonder what happened there. It says I'm still sharing. Let me reshare. Okay, we're back.
All right, I can see it now. Perfect. All right, so hi everyone. My name's Sai. I am on the technical marketing team. So depending on if we can get Shelby back on, I might be presenting for community as well. That's totally fine. But we'll start things off here with our Help Center. So a couple of newer articles, or rather updates to existing articles that I wanted to call out. So recently in one of our releases, we made some updates to options for how you can use collections. So you can use collections in the way that makes sense for you. So if you have maybe an exec team that has some passwords that shouldn't be shared with others, or maybe some higher level permissions that you want to make sure don't get shared with anyone else, even admins, there are some new options available for you. So check that out in our collection management article. We also improved the availability of exporting your vault. So now you can export an encrypted JSON from the browser extension and desktop app in addition to the web vault. So you can check out how to do that step by step in that help article. All right, and then over to the Learning Center. So a couple of videos I wanted to call out there. We do have a pre-recorded version of our Teams and Enterprise demo. So if you've ever been curious about what we do in those demos, but it's just not a great time for you, or maybe you want to share it with someone in a different time zone, we do have a pre-recorded demo from Kat, one of our integration engineers. She shares lots of great tidbits about our different features of the password manager. So I highly recommend checking that out if you've never attended one of our demos. Other one I wanted to call out is, you can go back, thank you, is Bitwarden Send. So we have a how-to video on how to use Bitwarden Send. So that is something that is a little bit of a hidden feature if you haven't kind of poked around the product. Bitwarden can allow you to share text or files securely using a temporary URL. So it's a great option if you need to share some of that sensitive documentation securely with someone who maybe isn't a part of your family or a part of your business, but still needs access to that information in a safe, secure way. So do check that out. I don't think I see Shelby on yet, so we can...
Yeah, Shelby, I did invite you to the stage. I don't know if you see that invitation, but if you do, please accept it and you can be pulled on stage. If not, Sai, if you want to take
Yeah,
the
we can just...
community section.
Absolutely. All right. So just as always, I wanted to call out, or rather we wanted to call out that we have a great community online. So not only do we have our official Bitwarden community at bitwarden.com/community, but we have a really active Reddit, and also we have a Mastodon over at the fossidon.org server. So do check that out. We've got conversations happening over there all the time. I think one of the more recent ones is just got added into that little screenshot there. So whether you are interested in talking with the community about Secrets Manager or the Password Manager product or any of our different solutions, highly recommend checking that out. We at Bitwarden are also really active in there. So you will see from time to time our founder, Kyle, making announcements or even replying to comments. So it's a great way to just get engaged with us. All right, so other ways you can get involved. So on GitHub, if you do want to contribute to our code or identify bugs, you can do that over on our GitHub. You can contribute to our localization, so getting Bitwarden in your own local language, or if you happen to be multilingual, helping us make sure that some of those translations are accurate for their intended meaning. We've got that community forum that I mentioned, so bitwarden.com/community, and on there you can do more than just chat with other Bitwarden users. You can submit feature requests. So if there's something that Bitwarden doesn't do today, but you'd like it to, let us know. You can ask general questions. That's also where you can go to sign up for our beta programs. So I know we referenced it earlier, but some of those, that native mobile app, all of those betas are, all the information around it is on our community. So whether you're interested in participating in a beta for those or for something else, you can take a look there. As well, we also look for folks to participate in our user research. So we're always looking for feedback. And then lastly, attending an event. I know a little bit later on, might be on the next slide here, we do have a listing. Oh, it's okay. It's a little later on. We do have a listing of our events. So just like this Vault Hours, we'd highly encourage you, come attend. We do participate in the chats, and we love to see that engagement. All right. Next up here. So if you're interested in becoming a part of the team, please do check out the different career postings that we have available. So bitwarden.com/careers. I've got a few of those up on screen, and we do also have just a general interest form if you want to participate or join the official Bitwarden team. We'd love to hear from you, especially if your past experience fits one of these postings. All right, so now here's the events. So we do have a weekly Teams and Enterprise demo, like I mentioned, that may or may not be at a good time for you, but that is hosted every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. But we do have that pre-recorded version just in case it doesn't. That's typically going to be hosted by myself or Shelby, who's having some technical issues right now, or one of the other members of our marketing team. And we are happy to answer any questions that come up. We've also got a Secrets Manager demo that's happening every other Tuesday at noon Eastern, and that next session is coming up next week. And we have an MSP demo that happens once a month, which the next one's on the 11th of July. Last thing I want to call out, and I'll do kind of a high level. I don't know if Gary, you want to chime in with some more kind of exciting news around the Open Source Security Summit, but that is coming up on September 26th. We do have some cool speakers coming, so definitely want to recommend everyone attend that if they can.
I think you covered it, Sai. So nothing to add there other than this will be our fifth year, fifth year, losing track. So we look forward to everybody's participation.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, but we have a great lineup of speakers too. We have Karen Elazari, who's the friendly hacker, cybersecurity journalist and author, Kim Zetter, and then the CISO at NFL, Tomas Maldonado. So exciting lineup and more to come, and as well as customers who will be also speaking. So hope folks here can join us.
That's awesome. Thanks.
All right. Is that all for you, Sai? Yes. Thank you, Sai, for those updates. This is my part. One more thing. I have one more thing, which is swag. So Bitwarden store giveaway. We always have new items. These are what you see here are some fun posters that you can get from the Bitwarden store and hang them up in your office, in your room, etc. So I think these are super fun and interesting, and adds a nice wall decor if you're looking for that. We have our usual Vault Hours giveaway. So to do that, please visit the bitwarden.com/shop. Fill out the contact information in the form that you see on the right, and give a shout out to Vault Hours 41. So please indicate that in the comments section, and then hit send. So we look forward to sending you some cool new Bitwarden swag. All right. One last call out to if anyone wants to speak up or have any questions for us before we end our Vault Hours. If not, we're gonna hang out for a few more minutes. I'm gonna close us out with some more music, and hope everyone has a great weekend, great Friday, and stay secure all.